Hey guys, so there's a lot of misinformation floating around the internet, and basically they got you thinking that you're about to come to Ghana or to Africa or wherever and build you this cheap or even free sustainable home. Well, I hate to be the one to burst your bubble, but ain't gonna happen. No, I say and I say it again. You've been took, you've been had, you've been lied to, you've been misled, you've been led astray, you've been bamboozled, you've been hoodwinked. You thought you was about to get you a house for cheap to nothing, but not gonna happen. When I return on the Eric McNeil Be Free Show.
Black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
Hey guys, welcome to the Eric McNeil Be Free Show, where we discuss how to become financially independent, responsible for self, enjoying life, and empowering others free. So, at any rate, today I want to discuss something that I often hear, and I just want to set the record straight here. So I'm just sitting here. I got my smoothie this morning. That's one of my favorite go-to breakfast. So here's something that I always hear people talk about. Oh, I'm coming, build me one of those sustainable houses, and they start talking, about how it's going to almost be free or cheap and all of that good stuff, and start comparing it to traditional buildings. So, and I have to say, time out. Stop. You're not coming here and build no cheap sustainable house, I'm going to tell you that. No more than you going to go get you any cheap organic food. Now, that's a whole different story. Organic food being cheaper, that's a whole different video. So I'm not going to get off on a tangent on that. But anyway, the similarities are the same. So I'm in the house right now. I'm in the kitchen. Now, I'm going to show you a couple reasons why you're not going to come here and just build no sustainable house if you think you're about to do it on the cheap. Or you're going to do it cheaper than you can traditional methods. Alright? So I'm going to switch the camera around. Let me turn the camera. Okay, so here's why a couple reasons why sustainable homes cost more. There's this big push for the Earthbag home, which I have, and the Earthship home, which is similar. The Earthship is made with tires, and this one is made, of course, with sacks that you fill with clay, sand, and dirt, and then you pound it together. So now, first of all, if you look, my walls are extremely thick. And they're so thick, they're probably 3 times thicker than a standard wall, or even. So that right there tells you that I used enough material to build 3 homes, right? So you use more material right there. Now, once you go up, you won't be able to catch this on camera, I'm sure, but the walls are not plumb. You know what I mean? When I say plumb, that means it goes kind of, perfectly up. But if you look at my walls, they go up, and then they kind of slant, so they're not perfectly plumb, right? Because you're placing bags on top of each other, and you're trying to get those bags straight. It's not like you're placing blocks, where it's much easier to get them plumb. Now, so you say, well, why does that matter, Eric? Because when your walls are not plumb and your floors are not level, it means that the contractors who work on your home are going to have to do more work. Now you can see, I'm going to go up to my cabinet here, and this will give you an idea of you can see where it's not plumb. You see how this piece here, how much room you have here, and then as you go up, it gets wider. See, so your contractors, they have to do more work, right? And they can't, these cabinets were made on site, but had they been made off site, they would come here and it wouldn't fit, right? Because the walls aren't plumb, which would cause them more work. But so they had to, you know, be extra careful about how they did things, and that means more labor, and it means higher cost. The same holds true with the tiler, right? So when the guy came to tile this, because the walls aren't plumbed, they had a difficult time right in here, and we had to make him do this a couple times over. But the charge, it goes up. It's more expensive, right? So that's just one area when you're dealing with something like a sustainable earth bag home. Now, another area. So where was I? I was talking about another area where you're going to spend more money if you're going with sustainable, like an earth bag home or a Earthship home that they make with tires. Do you know how heavy those bags are that you're lifting? And my ceilings go up 18, 20 feet. So you just imagine, you're not lifting blocks up, you're lifting heavy, heavy bags up. So those bags, I don't know, 80, 70, 80 pounds, you're lifting up each bag. And then you have to take this very heavy tamper, and I'm gonna put a picture up. I can't, because, you know, I was fooled into thinking that, hey, I'm just gonna come build my own home and save all this money, and I told Brandon to just get me started and I'm gonna finish it. Man, I came here one day, spent one day with them, and I only spent maybe less than an hour actually doing the work there. That would, you know, and that was taking that tamper, and I'll put the picture up and show you, taking that tamper, and you have to pound the bags because you're trying to squeeze the bags down. Man, that's back-breaking work. I'm telling you, I had callus all over my hand after that. Now, you think about doing that as opposed to just putting a block on top of one another and putting the mortar between it. See, so people are not building earth bags and earth ships because it's cheaper. So stop listening to that lie. It's only cheaper if you do the labor. And if you do the labor on a block home, it's going to be cheaper, right? If you do the labor and you building with traditional blocks, and you do the labor here, you building with the earth bag, the block home is still going to be cheaper. So all the way around, the block home is cheaper, right? So stop believing that sustainable home equates to cheaper home. The price, the cost of a home, you know, and that's another thing. People think that, oh, well, if I can just get the dirt and the sand and for free, then I'm gonna save a lot of money. No, you're not. Wrong again. Wrong again. Even if you had the dirt, the sand, and the right gravel mixture on your land that you can use, the cost of a home is not in the blocks or the infrastructure. The real cost of the home is in the labor and the finishes. So if you're planning on using outside labor, or you planning on having nice finishings, you're not going to save a lot by just getting the walls, you know, having the dirt on your land. And the chances of you having the right mixture of the clay and the sand and the gravel on your land, it's actually fairly slim. So you have to get it trucked in anyway. And if you have to truck in this sand, clay, and gravel, it ain't gonna be no cheaper than trucking in the blocks. See, so people are building with blocks because it's cheap, or it's cheaper. They're building sustainable homes because the sustainable home is healthier for you. It's a better way to go. It's more friendly for the environment, right? So the sustainable home, when I built this, I don't have to use the AC. So in the long run, it's cheaper. See, over the long haul, because I'm not using my AC. I have, you know, the way the house is designed, I have plenty of daylight coming in. So in that regard, it's cheaper over the long run. So it's just like working out and eating healthy. It's not cheaper up front. It's cheaper over the long run because you don't have to visit the doctor and you don't have any medical expenses like everybody else. But up front, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of, so it's a lot of expense in building a sustainable home up front, guys. Don't think you're just going to come here and poof and have a home for cheap. Unless you just want to go live in like a mud hut like they do. Yeah, that's cheap. You go put up the mud hut and basically what you're doing is just putting up walls. You don't have any plastering over it. You don't have any countertops, cabinets, and fixtures and any of that. Yeah, that's cheap. You can do that, you know, if that's what you want. But if you want a nice looking house, you're going to pay money for it. So this house, yes, it's very expensive, my friends. Very expensive. Like I say, I use enough material to build 3 homes. The walls for the homes anyway. So, yeah, so I just wanted to clear that up right fast. So there's a lot of value in this house because of, you know, the way that we built it. But if you just think that, oh, I can just come to Ghana and I'm going to build me one of those earth bags, and that goes for the Earthship too. Now, the Earthship, as many of you know, it uses tires. Instead of filling the bags with clay and sand and dirt, you stack these tires on one another and you fill each one of them. So the whole thing is that, oh, you're supposed to be reusing the tires. Now, I'll tell you why that's more difficult to accomplish here in Africa. Like in the U.S., they have these junkyards, and you know they scrap these tires and they try to get rid of them, and they'll basically deliver the tires to you almost next to nothing, and you can get the same size of tire in a large quantity. Because you need to be building with the same, if you're going to do an Earthship, it needs to be the same size tire. Now, over here in Africa, you're not that lucky. You won't find like a large number of the same size tires. You find, you know, multiple sizes, and then too, you're just not going to get somebody to deliver those tires to you for free, next to free, right? It'll cost you more for them to deliver the tires than the tires cost over here because of the logistics issues and the road systems, you know, so it's just not going to be that inexpensive. So anyway, I thought I would just share that because there's a lot of inaccurate information circulating around about, oh, building a sustainable home and I can do it for so cheap, and people believe that because they go on, again, you know, I can't be mad because I go on YouTube and Google too and do my searches, and but you know, you have to think about this stuff, that, you know, how is it cheaper, you know, and I guess you can get tripped up if you never built a house. You know, I built a house before and I understand. I've been around construction for a while, so I understand it. But for people who just go on YouTube and Google, they ain't never built anything like that, man, you're gonna get tripped up. You really gonna get tripped up. So don't buy into that. Yeah. But now let me tell you this. All is not lost, right? Some of you might be saying right now, man, he done ruined it for me. He done burst my bubble. Now what am I gonna do? All is not lost. If you want to build a sustainable home economically, And this is what we're planning on doing when we build additional homes, because we will. I haven't made an announcement yet, but I'm just waiting for some pieces to work themselves out and cross some T's, dot some I's before I really officially say, hey, this is what we're doing. But we are planning to build a community. But we won't be doing earth bag homes in that community, and we won't be doing Earthships or anything like that. And here's what we're going to do to build a sustainable home. You'll also get the thermal mass. You may have heard me in one of my previous videos talk about when you build with dirt, you have thermal mass. That means that, you know, the temperature is always constant, so it doesn't get hot or doesn't get cold in the house. You can do that by using the blocks, not the regular cement blocks, but the actual adobe blocks, right? They in Ghana, in Africa, a lot of Africa, right? They build with dirt. They call it octopame, something like that. And so this is basically when you're building an earthbag house, you're just building like they've been building for perhaps millions of years, right? It's just octopus, it's just an upgraded way of doing octopame when you do earthbag. So what I suggest, if you want to build sustainably, then use, instead of using these bags, use the blocks, the adobe blocks, right? So you can take the same, you know, a clay and dirt mixture, and you can use one of these hydraulic presses that they press and make the blocks with, and you just use it to make the adobe blocks with instead of cement blocks. Then you still have a sustainable product that you can actually, you can wall up the house very quick, right? Because it's just the block, but the block is made sustainably. So that's the way you can build economically, you know, affordably, using a sustainable process. All right, so at any rate, guys, again, hopefully you enjoy the content. If you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button for me, right? Just go ahead and smash it. Like, comment, subscribe, share, you know, the routine. And you can follow me on Facebook at facebook.com/Eric McNeil is free. Until next time, hoorah, ahuru. Now be free.